And accused of killing 4 college students in Idaho, embroiled in fresh controversy this morning over his defense team's latest strategy.
This was a total shock to me. This is a big deal.
Revelations spilling out in open court Thursday for the first time.
They have gone out and interrogated 400 citizens of Latah County.
The prosecution objecting to Brian Koberger's defense team conducting a survey to investigate potential bias in the jury pool, reading out some of the questions prospective jurors were asked.
Have you read, seen, or heard that DNA found on the knife sheath was later matched to Brian Koberger? Have you read, seen, or heard that Brian Koberger stalked one of the victims? These are questions that, quite frankly, might not be able to ask in voir dire, much less into an uncontrolled, unsupervised environment.
The presiding judge over the case appearing concerned.
I'm not happy about these specific questions, especially ones that are false. We've been working very, very hard to keep the sort of noise out of the case.
It's been more than a year since prosecutors charged Koberger with fatally stabbing Xana Kernodle, Ethan Chapin, Madison Mogan, and Kayla Gonsalves in their off-campus home, rattling the close-knit community around the University of Idaho, a town so small, Koberger's defense has argued he can't get a fair trial. His legal team defending the survey, saying it wasn't intended to taint the jury pool, but instead to bolster their motion to move the trial out of Moscow.
This is not an anomaly. These kinds of surveys are done in high-profile cases quite often.
But one former Idaho prosecutor had a different take.
In the 33 years that I served, I have never seen a survey go out in this manner in a murder case, ever.
Sounds like a big mess going on there.
Yes, that is fair to say.
Yeah, so now what happens with the case?
So the prosecution is now saying that they want all those roughly 400 people in the town that were actually surveyed barred from serving on the jury. And you can understand why, because they're admitting they gave them certain facts that are not true, which is what part of what has upset the judge so much. But one of the things that Gene Fisher told us there is that this might actually turn out to be the way that they get the venue changed, because they've tainted the jury pool in such a way the judge's hand might actually be forced. But he's going to hear another hearing on this case next week.
Wow.
Welcome back to my Mental Health and Crime channel. My name is Huda London. This is for entertainment purpose only. This is the case of the Idaho quadruple murders. May the 4 victims rest in peace. Condolence to their families. I'd like to thank all my subscribers, viewers, for your support, for your kindness, mindfulness in the comment channel. I really appreciate it. We're just here to get the correct justice for these 4 beautiful victims. Nobody deserves to lose their life in such a manner. Nobody deserves actually to lose their life at all. This case has been baffling from the beginning. And I personally have given it a chance. Plenty of chances. I don't intend to quit. But I'm starting to figure out what is actually going on. This is only my opinion, and this is for entertainment purpose only. It seems like every time Ann Taylor and her defense try to defend Mr. Brian Christopher Koberger, there's always something that's holding them back. And that is the prosecutor and the judge, I personally believe. With all the research I've done, we all are aware that the prosecutor and the judge are trying to do a good job, I guess, but I believe they're just trying to make it more complicated. In the sense that they don't want this case to be changed to another court venue, which I personally find to be baffling, because this is a very high-profile case. Y'all heard Ann Taylor. She's worked as a defense attorney in capital murder for many years, and she said that these kind of questions and surveys are always done. I'll let you hear from professional defense attorneys about their opinion. And they all have said in court TV that they do not see any bias if that survey goes out. Now, all Ann Taylor wants to do is to get this to a bigger venue, court venue. And the reason is because, let's not forget, people have already made up their mind from the very beginning, from, I believe, the 7th of December 2022, when the white Hyundai was put up. When the police were searching for that, I personally believe that the other people who were involved besides Brian could be completely innocent, but I personally feel that he has some involvement in it. Whether he was going to that house to check on someone, whether he was allegedly dating the surviving roommates or one of the victims, whether he was partying in the place, or whether he was buying drugs. The reason I say that allegedly is because we have the Uber drivers who said it to the local news in Idaho, Moscow. They said clearly that he drove people there plenty of times to buy drugs. Those are the cab driver's words, and he said that to the news. So I'm just repeating what's out there. Let's not forget that Mr. Koberger was a heroin addict from the age of 17 to the age of 22, I believe. Those 5 years. As a mental health counselor, my job is not to judge anyone or be biased, but the fact is, we all know, if anyone has been on heroin for many years and they quit, I'm really proud of BK for quitting. It must be really tough. He managed to come back, get a bachelor, master's, and he was doing his PhD semester. And he was a teacher assistant. So what I'm trying to say is, could it be possible that Brian Christopher Koberger went there to buy something for his addiction? I don't mean heroin, maybe pills, maybe Molly. I don't know what he went and bought, but I'm just putting it out there. It's a very good possibility because the media put it out there that he was on heroin. Let's not forget that. That's a fact. So I'm just wondering if he went there to buy something or get something and he saw what was happening and he ran out. That's a very good possibility. I don't believe he even left his car. Maybe somebody called him to frame him. I'm just putting out everything there. I personally want the correct justice for these students. So it doesn't matter if BK did it, he needs to go down. But if BK did not do it, imagine we have real killers. People are enlivening people out in Moscow, Idaho. We know that there are 3 unidentified male DNAs. Where are they? Where are they? If the prosecutor needs an alibi and is giving a deadline, if I was Ann Taylor, I would have given a deadline for the DNA. 3 male DNAs. I know they said that the lab didn't give them, but it's their job, it's the prosecutor's job to collect it from the lab. You'll remember what Mr. Thompson said a couple of months ago, last year. He said, if I don't have it, what can I do about that? And that's not fair. That's not fair for this man. His life is online. So if a survey needs to be done, so be it. There are many professionals in the branch of defense attorney and criminal law who are saying that there's nothing wrong with the survey. It's done all the time. So I don't understand why Ann Taylor is being blocked from everything. But I'm really proud of her. The way she spoke day before yesterday was on point. They put her in a bad position by the prosecutor giving this information to the court, to the judge, on a Friday night. She said she wouldn't have minded a hearing. She would have come for the hearing. But I guess they wanted to do it on a live stream while we were watching. And I really appreciate that. Because what I clearly see is there's a lot of biased things going on. Barry Murphy, his venue was changed. Many other people's venue was changed. And it was due to the people being biased. That is what you expect of little towns. These are not big cities, so I do understand. But let's not forget, Brian is the foreigner here. What I mean by foreigner is he comes from the East Coast. He has nothing to do with Idaho, Moscow. These people know each other. If the frat boys did it, obviously they're going to find someone to blame. I don't want to be from the beginning of this case. I've never changed my mind. There's many creators who have changed their mind and are trying to say now that maybe BK is innocent. I always go in with a clean slate. It's not good to judge anyone because he could be innocent or he could be guilty. That's why the court is there for them to do their jobs. This is one case you get surprised. Why is everything on gag order? Let's not forget, it's 1.5 years. Why don't they tell us what they really got on Brian Christopher Koberger? I don't think they have much than a touch DNA. And the classic is many media channels, at least 2, 3, and Nancy Gray are saying they found fingerprints on the knife sheet. We would have heard that. It was a touch DNA on the knife sheet, on the button of the knife sheet. And I've always said we should pay attention to, before 911 was called, many people went upstairs to the 3rd floor and the 2nd floor. How do we know that they did not plant the knife sheet? Let's not forget, this case was tampered from the beginning because Dylan Mortensen and BF did not call the cops, who logged off Kaylee's account, Lyndon account. That's quite interesting because you can make transfers for at least $500,000 from your Lincoln account. Was the money laundry going on? What was actually going on? And why were the detectives and the forensic team taking a lot of pictures outside and inside of the spare room? Pay attention to that. Was the spare room used as a store? Could that be possible? To get justice for these 4 students, we need to know